say the rap game dead. I object, that's a low blow. Taking copycatting off each other, that's a no-no. Keep this original, or just not even no show. I'm a big tipper, when I spend it, I'ma flip ya. So girl, drop it really low. Show them how we for the flow. Candy yam is sticking ball. Feed me and give me more. Haters gon' hate when they see us running state to state. The way that we be tipping, man, up this on some other shit. Down on this dude. What you mean? That's another chick. Coming in, going out on some other shit. Try to rip us off, best believe it, that's a no-go. Never trust nobody, even family, that's a no-no.
I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. Put up, or shut up. Put up, or shut up. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper.
Net froze on my neck on, cheat codes to the game though. Big tipping on the regular, then jet became a schedule. I got it straight out of mud, I do not need a judge. My money do not budge, money local counted up. My roses is looking real cold, I diamond shining with the gold. Maybe I cheated it up, put it right down the stove. I'm just a city you don't know, I'm something that I don't show. I got the game in a chokehold, you try to steal from me, I know. Bank account, big account, I'm about to tip you now. Look, I gotta bounce, I do not play around. I'm at the records now, stand up and pipe it down. Regular tipping like wow, I'm paying you, don't need a frown.
I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper.
Welcome to thepowerofvoices.com. It's Anna Marie on the Comedy Hour Live. It is my pleasure to introduce my guest, Aiden Parks, who is trying to do, what do we call that? When you're trying to put fires out.
Put fires out?
Yeah, right. Put fires out. There's what do we call that? Like control, damage control.
Damage control.
Yeah, based on the fact that the number that I gave, which is off a old number for people who wanted to call in, is not something that you'll be able to call the radio station in on. It was actually a business phone number and not the actual live radio, which is 424-227-9461. 424-227-9461. And pretty much that comes right up. Everybody can see that? Oh, there we are. Aren't you looking pretty?
Hello.
See that? Say hey. And you like how the mics kind of match you.
Oh, good. It's yeah, that's right.
It's like run.
Run.
That's it. Well,
thank you.
If we were in Mexico, that would have a whole nother meaning. We'd have an S on the end of it. Runs.
Oh, no.
Well, that's what I hear anyways. That's where the term "my caramba" came from. But anyways, yeah, it's like really cool because, as you know, I get to meet you for the first time, all my guests on the show. And being non-scripted, and look at his socks. Those are so cool. I'm a big sock freak. I have friends of mine that their trademark are their socks.
You want to see the socks?
That's it.
Yeah.
Those are lit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right
Those
now.
were free, actually. You know, my mom got them. My mom got a whole bunch of it. Okay, so I don't understand underwear and spending money on underwear and socks because most people don't see it.
Right, thank you.
So I'm like, so my mom got a whole bunch of free ones, so I just wear,
So wait a minute. You're saying you free ball?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
No.
Free crack, free ball,
but
whatever.
I keep underwear for
just in case?
years.
Right? No,
Yeah.
for an accident because you never know.
I don't care. At that point, who cares?
Keep a clean pair of underwear. I'm like, what, in the glove compartment? Because I can't be bothered with that stuff either. I mean, there's a lot of jokes about that. I have my friends that spend a fortune on lingerie.
I don't get it.
I mean,
lingerie,
well,
I get it. If someone's going to see you in it, that's cool.
And they go, I like the way it makes you feel, which is fine. I know men that wear it under their clothes because they like the way it makes them feel. But whatever you do. But yeah, I mean, I'm one of those sticklers for, I enjoy the idea of having things look really good that you can see.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, what kind of mattress do you have?
A cheap one?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
and thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's going to be covered anyway with the bedding.
No, all right, now I'm going to get you. That is, I used to sell mattresses. That is something I like to tell my friends, let me guide you through it, of how to buy a really good mattress, not spend a lot of money, but don't cheap yourself out of a good night's sleep, because some people would come in and say, "Where's the $2.99?" I'm like, I wouldn't put my dog on the $2.99.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, wait. What do you get? A queen size?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were right about. Are you comfortable?
I'm okay.
That's the main thing. No
I'm like a
backache?
bachelor. I don't know. Like I'm like whatever. Like,
Yeah?
I'll just sleep on whatever.
Yeah, but has your guest ever said what? Oh man.
You know what? I had a
Yes.
guest recently, and like but like okay, I tried. I just don't know about nice. I just never grew up with like nice things, right? So like I went and got like new bedding, but it was from like the 99-cent store. So I got like $4.99 bedding. It was like polyester sheets, and then I put it on. It was like, and I rubbed it, or you heard noise. Like, zzz, zzz, zzz,
Yep.
zzz.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. But he was like, well, you tried. I appreciate it. So that was cool.
Well, yeah, polyester you want to stay away from.
It was flammable. You could see it was flammable.
It melts.
Yeah.
Just
from sweating.
the idea of like you don't ever want to get it lit because it actually melts. And not only that, because my grandmother was reaching across her stove and she had on a bathrobe and it was in its polyester.
Yeah.
And it after it burned, it stuck to the skin and melted. Whereas cotton just so you know,
It stuck to the skin and melted. That's awful.
Because polyester is a plastic-based product.
I don't know if it's polyester or what, but you know, it
Whatever that is,
It looked
rayon.
bad.
It
It
looked
looked
bad.
shiny. It looked bad.
Oh yes,
there was no thread count
there. Was no thread count. Now, let me ask you. You originally started out. You actually talk about this in one of your clips, which we'll show in a little bit. But you said that you came here to this country. You didn't speak English.
No English.
No English, and you were how old?
I was 9.
Trauma.
It was.
I mean,
it
I
was
just
bad.
came to California, and it's trauma to go somewhere
Yeah.
you've never been before, and then to be thrown into an environment where children are just so fucking cruel.
It was rough because it was like, okay, so in Korea, I was like a top student, right? I was an ace test taker. I was like a straight A student. It was great. You know, I was well liked. And then I moved here, did not speak English, and I didn't know that I was fat because no one ever made fun of me for being fat in Korea. And then I came here, and I'm suddenly the fat kid. And I was like,
Oh,
my
no.
gosh, I'm fat. I don't speak the language. It was gnarly.
And everybody probably kept saying you were Chinese because they don't understand the difference between Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean.
You know what? Actually, when I went to school in San Francisco, 80% of kids who go to like inner city schools in San Francisco are Asian.
Oh, wow.
So that wasn't really a problem, surprisingly.
You would think that you can do that. You would think that you'd have a little more understanding being at least with people who looked like you. No,
I just didn't
merciless.
speak the language, so
Right.
and I was kind of. I'm a quirky. I mean, you can tell I'm already quirky. So like I was a quirky kid. And
Yeah,
so
I know that.
you know.
I would have to say about being that I'm different.
Yeah, I
No
was
matter how
loud. I
hard
was just
you tried,
loud.
You stood out. You
Yeah.
sounded, you were noticed. You could never be under the radar.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. That's
Right?
right. Yeah.
It's like, what's wrong with me? We know where you are at all times.
English or not, I was just
Right,
loud about
just
it.
loud about
Yeah.
it. I like that.
So-
I mean, that's fascinating to me to come somewhere you don't speak the language and then the progressive, because English really isn't that easy a language to learn because, the English language, we have 52 words for one thing, like there, theirs, and theirs. Hours and hours is, two different spellings for the same word. Time being hours, HOURS, and possession hours is OUR.
I never thought about it that
Right,
way.
but so if you're, new and learning something like that, it can. I would imagine. Are you kidding me? We Americans who can't even spell there. That's one of the biggest bitches on Facebook. Is like there, and there. Get it straight. People.
Oh, who the hell
They
cares?
are. It's
You know what I mean?
hilarious.
Come on.
It's hilarious. Wait, really?
Yeah, it's
Now
like
you
really.
have time?
That's what's gonna
Now
bother
you-
you all
yeah,
day.
I-
Come on, lady, get a life.
I've had that happen where
Really?
where
Come
somebody's
on.
corrected my English. But that's something that I don't. I have a friend today who said that to me. What they think about me is none of my business, and I'm like, you have to be that way in life. You have to be able to, because I think that people sense if you're vulnerable like that, they'll chew you up and spit you out because it makes them feel better. So the first thing you learn is how to be secure in your own self with these kids.
You know what? Actually, the switch happened like this. I was also gay, and I'm very. I was very flamboyant. So growing up, I was very flamboyant. And where things shifted was, and I struggled because my family was very religious and
Okay.
I was raised by my grandmother. So my dad was in Korea, so I didn't know my dad. And my mom moved here, but then she had to go to Boston for work. And so my grandmother raised me, but like my whole family is very, very, very Baptist religious. And around freshman year, and I was still being picked on for, being fat, and English was good. It was getting better, but it wasn't like, proficient like, the other kids or whatever, and at some point I was like, I decided, I was like, you know what? Can I curse?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I don't give a shit. And I was like, you know what? I'm gay and fuck this. And I don't like that. I'm overweight. So I'm going to go on a diet and no. And so like, I just approached it from like, I was like, whatever. I ended up being prom queen of my high school.
Shut up!
Yeah. That actually happened. I showed up one day.
That.
And there was like signs for, and it wasn't them being mean-spirited. They actually wanted to.
Yes, but you are in San Francisco.
I am in San Francisco.
The best place, other than P-Town.
Right.
Right, and a few other places, that if you have to be a young, gay, Asian man.
But I noticed that in freshman year, I was picked on for being gay. You're gay. You know what I mean? Like mean. But as soon as I was like, yeah, I'm gay, so what? Say something. Then they couldn't.
Right.
So then, and then everybody started liking me. So it was interesting.
When did you get like that? Nah, I know I'm funny. So double that with the fact that now, because I mean, for me growing up, I got bullied, so I became funny just to save my life. And I mean, at what point I was 11 years old holding court with adults, and that's when I know shit. This isn't the norm. Most adults don't want to hang out and listen to what an 11-year-old has to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just curious as to when was that first experience of having the moment of where you're like really good at holding an audience and you're able to notice that you have a sense of humor people actually will laugh at.
I was linguistically great in Korea. I was always the funny guy in Korea. Now, I lost that when I moved here because I didn't have the language anymore.
Okay.
So I had to rely a little, I guess, I still liked being funny. So I went a little more physical. I think that's informed in my comedy, actually, because...
Yeah, I saw that clip of how you handled certain things. Right? That's, like, brilliant. In being a kid that, did you have other aspirations? I mean, I'm surprised. Some of the comedians that I've had on the show where they tell me, a lawyer that stepped off, I was a lawyer, I want to do comedy. Because, I mean, let's face it, it takes a long time to establish yourself in this town to get the work that will support you, let alone a family. I mean, that's people say, go to L.A., hone your craft, leave L.A. and actually be able to feed your family.
Yeah.
Because it's not really, there's just so many people here trying to make it in this industry, which is, like I said, to be able to achieve what you've done as far as like your comedy, the Laugh Factory, they say now there's a 2-year wait to even get on for some of the shows where for the roster, it's a wait. Like a lot of people don't understand how much of a commitment this is if you decide I'm going to be a comedian. I mean, and work. Mm-hmm. Was there any other job that you had in mind other than this?
I started in musical theater. I mean, I was always in show business. So like,
right.
I did musicals in high school and I got out and I just started working right away. So I started doing productions of Miss Saigon because that's what you do when you're Asian. That's it. So I did 9 productions of Miss Saigon,
Holy
9
shit.
different ones. And that's just what you do. And then I realized, I like money. I was like, theater there's a lot of money.
Really? There's not a lot of money in theater.
And musical theater is, it's the hardest one because you have to sing, you have to dance,
true,
you have to
right.
act. So much work goes into it.
Uh-huh.
For something, it really doesn't. Really, the reality of theater is, it really is a rough
right.
life.
So the people that are really sticking to that have passion beyond anything.
Or they have money behind them or something.
Right.
Like, you gotta have another job if you're gonna do musicals. Like, it's really just, oof.
Wow.
Yeah. It's rough. I mean, I know people who've been on Broadway, played Broadway for 2 or 3 years. The show closes, can't get another job. They're on unemployment, and then now they're doing whatever, waiting tables. Like, literally, that happens. So it's like, man, this job is very...
Yeah, it's not exactly a lucrative field to go into for that.
Yeah.
And so like the first time you did stand-up comedy, which everybody probably remember. I've yet to meet somebody who can't remember the first time they got up on stage and did their actual monologue and said, "Oh man, I want this.
Mm-hmm.
This is," and everybody, you know, their reaction to you or your reaction to that feeling of being on stage, regardless, good, bad, or indifferent. But that was the deciding moment. Were you in LA when that happened?
The deciding moment or the first time I went on stage?
Well, a little bit of both.
Well, the first time I went on stage was a class showcase because I decided to take a class, right? So at the end of the class, I went on stage and it was all right. Like I was like, okay. And so I kind of did like half-assedly, like I would do like one a week or something, you know, it's kind of like, right? And then I actually got booked in the Bay Area for a musical theater job. I did The Music Man in the Berkeley. And I was Harold Hill.
Oh my God,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. I'm
That's
a tall
quite-
Asian.
right?
So if they want to go ethnic, I'm a good choice because they're like, oh, like we still want him to look like a leading man on stage, but we can go ethnic. And so we pick him. So I was doing that show. And then I realized, wow, like this, I don't want this for the rest of my life. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but I was like, I want to be able to, I noticed that I missed stand-up even though I was doing like only once a week. So I was like, you know what? After this production is over, I'm going to commit and I'm going to see where it goes. So then I started like hustling, right? And
that's
then
a key word in that's that stage time.
Yeah.
In
You need to.
I don't every comedian says these people say to me, well, so like you want to be a comedian and I'll say, well, from if you listen to what the comedians say, every one of them says you book as much open mic, you go to every and I'm like, seriously? Open mic?
I don't agree.
Oh,
I disagree.
yeah, what?
And I might get a lot of crap from the
No.
comics. I don't always think that going to as many open mics as possible is the most effective use of time for you, or not you, but like anyone trying to start comedy. That's what I think. That's what I observe.
Right? So, yeah, well, it's kind of like it takes a lot to make me laugh at a comedy show, by the way. I don't know if they say that comedians don't give up laughs that easy.
This is the problem with open mics. When you go to an open mic, 90% of first of all, there's a long, and you wait whatever hours to do 3 minutes of material in front of comics who don't laugh at the same things that a general audience does. So if you kill at an open mic, that's great, okay? But if you take that same material and you do it in front of a real crowd, and it could totally bomb. So you're not getting an effective read on what you're doing. It's cool. It's good to go up there and shake off the nerves and kind of practice talking from a mic. But like going to 4 or 5 open mics a night, what is that going to get? How do you test your material? How do you know? Because this is what I think people need to know. Comedian is kind of a service industry. You're a comedian. You're going to make people laugh. That is your job. People, not other comics.
Right.
You're servicing people. So it's kind of like, yeah, go to all those open mics and test the material, but how are you going to... You're not getting an effective read.
Right.
That's my opinion. But I might get a lot of crap for it. I'm sure there's people who disagree. That's what I think. I went to maybe 2 or 3 open mics in my entire career.
So you are an exception.
Because
it's a mentality of which, like what you're saying makes perfect sense to me. Because I'm sitting there and I'm like looking around at the open mic nights at all the comedians. And they're like engaged in a way of they're studying. And some of them might be saying, I could have said that joke better. You should have done this. Or they're thinking about their time up on stage. They're just waiting their time. They're not interested in what you're actually saying. They're busy engaged with each other.
So how do you get a proper read?
So I'm like, okay, so if you're practicing your material, this was just my personal opinion. It's funny you should say that because I'm just like, if you're practicing your material, who is deciding whether or not you're funny? And if it's a room full of comedians, which usually it is, I'm like going, yeah, these guys they don't really laugh. So how do you practice? So
it can be a very soul-crushing experience for new people.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people, okay, like if you want to do comedy, if you want to say that you want to do stand-up comedy, go for it. You know what I mean? And there is a group of people who are just like, comedians, you have to like earn your keep by going through all these difficult things. No, you can be a happy comic. You can go start comedy and have a great life too. You know what I mean? It's a decision.
Right.
So going into that place where no one's going to laugh at you if you don't know you, you know what I mean? And they're just sitting there like in a dark room and there's like an unhappy energy kind of at most of them. And it's like, why do you have to? You don't have to do that. You don't have to. That's my opinion.
I enjoy that because, you know, the thing with this is like people say, oh, well, you know, just because, you know, the kid that says, well, you know, people think I'm funny, I could be a comedian. People come up to me and say that, hey, I want to be on your show. And I've had some like famous people that I'm like, I'd love to have you, but you're not a comedian. Go, yeah, but, you know, people think I'm really funny. No, I have a comedy hour and, you know, I'm trying to organize the theme of the show being not just, otherwise I'd call it, hey, funny people. You know, and a lot of people don't, you know, they say when I go out to a show, what do you like most about the shows? And I'm like, well, I try and get down where the people are, not, you know, because as a comedian, you can go upstairs or whatever and you don't have to pay, blah, blah. But there's something about the energy down on the floor, as you know, that you can't replicate upstairs. Because again, they're all comedians watching the show from a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
All right. And I know there's some that, you know, is there anyone that you admire that, like, when you've gone to see that around the circuit that you really enjoy and look forward to when they do a show?
Yeah, it's like a feeling you get at the end of their act. You feel uplifted and happy. You've ever seen you've had Shang on your show, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Love him. You know, oh my God, what's his name? Oh God, there's one. Okay, and you know, like other ones, like Margaret Cho, obviously was a big inspiration. Who I was lucky enough to do a couple of shows with. Great. There's a comic named Kira Sultanovic. Well, every time I see her, I feel uplifted. Bridget McManus, like
I love
all
that
these
you
people.
say that, uplifted.
I want to feel at the end of the show, like there is. That's just for me, though.
No, I like that. Well, no, that's what it should be. I mean, the whole idea of having an experience when I just feel that if I go in and I want to be engaged with what's going on stage, the feeling is like I want to get something from it. I'm paying a lot of money, all right, because, you know, they got 2-item minimum or whatever. You pay to park. First of all, you pay to park, and that's that. Oh. You know, then you've paid to get in or whatever. Or you have comp cards, but it's like there has to be something. I've seen lazy comedy.
It's not that it's not lazy. It's just, I do think it's important to be, look, if there's 2 people in the audience, I feel like it does not matter. Those people took the time to come out. They parked, right? So it's like, I owe it to them to try to give the best show, right?
Right.
And it's like, it's not about, oh, there's only 2 people. It's not like that. You gotta like.
Yeah. You know, I keep talking about B.T. Kinsley. I saw do a Full House and his energy was amazing. And then there was like 4 people. I was at the Comedy Store, and there was no difference in his energy, none.
Yeah.
And I'm like I mean, he's one of those comedians that says that, you know, it doesn't matter when he's up on stage. That's what he does. I mean, he understands to better what he does. 2 people are 2 people.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, the experience that they get. Yeah. You know, then somebody says, hey, you want to go see a comedy show? We saw this guy last night. It was just me and my girl. Think about that. Yeah. And man, he just had us, and that's all it was. Me and
this could have been their outing for the month. They had to work how many hours? Okay, like if they're working, like they could be working at McDonald's minimum wage or something like that, right? They had to work a whole day to have this special night to come out, and they happen to be the only ones. How sucky would it be if everybody just treated like that's not cool?
I also, and hearing some of the stories about. Let me ask you, your ultimate goal, are you for movies and for getting like a movie deal, and you also want to do acting? Obviously, you come from a background of acting. You'd obviously welcome a script where you get to play.
Sure. I'm just open to it. I don't know. But I will say this. There was a big transition. Like you start questioning when a big life event happens.
Yes.
You know, you start questioning, why am I doing this? There's got to be a bigger reason than just me just going on stage and talking to myself. Like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you moved out here. You had they all know your story, right?
Yeah, they all know my
story.
story.
So you know the divorce, the 32 years, the eagle, all of that. It's like you really got to figure out like, okay, there's got to be a bigger reason for doing what you do, right? I don't know,
yeah, because if first of all, you know, the gift that you've been giving is the gift of communicating something and delivering a message and taking a truth and making it funny. And people can accept that. I mean, it's actually a way to get over their own awkwardness about certain things.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, you know, when you take your calls, there's a lot of people seeking answers from you that are struggling with being gay or like telling their parents. I've seen some of the questions that you've been asked, being in love with someone who's gay. Is this something that I should, yes, rethink that. And, you know, like, you know, I love those questions. He's gay, but I'm so in love. It's like, not going to happen, right? It's like,
I'm like Judge Judy.
Yeah, right?
I'm very Judge Judy about it.
You need to move on, right? But it's true, yeah. And in saying that, you have this incredible compassion to make sure that you handle these people with care when you really think about what it is that comes out of your mouth and affecting them. And I notice a lot of comedians are going to ask me a question, let me give you advice. Well, you're going to get truth, some sarcasm, and basically I don't give a shit. Good luck with that. I've seen, like, I watch and try and catch what everybody's doing because to me, it's like school information. It makes me a better interviewer.
Mm.
But I'm just like, the difference was here you actually take a segment of your time to do this. Whereas you really go through a lot more questions that they're meaningful questions. You just don't have questions up so you can make a joke off that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
To you know, which I've seen, you actually have a compassion to give a good answer.
Mm.
You know?
I do. I care.
Yeah.
Even if I don't, I try to answer everybody, even though, even if it doesn't end up if they send me a direct message, I try to, I do my best.
Well, you have like 18,000 followers, so that's kind of difficult.
But like, you know, it's not like crazy, you know, like if I have like, you know, like 12, 15 messages a day, a quick sentence, you know, like, you know, whenever I'm standing in line at a Starbucks, I'm like, no, yes, right. You know.
That's really cool. Because, you know, the whole thing too is reaching out to comedians when they say, you know, DM me. And I'm like, I look at how many followers I have. I go, you're going to see me? You know, it's like I can't be bothered waiting for you to reply 2 weeks from now.
No.
And you were really quick to respond. Have you had anything that somebody has asked you that really affected you? Like that was a really, I mean, all of your questions, I've seen that they ask you are very, very deep questions. But was there anyone that reached out to you that was in like kind of a jeopardy of like how they felt about like a crisis situation about their life?
There are a few, yeah. There are.
They're young, huh?
They're. I get mostly answers from like, younger people.
Right.
I get a lot of the most questions I get is like how to deal with homophobic parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's a huge thing, though. I mean, you know yourself. You're saying your parents were Baptist.
Yeah. But like, see, okay, like. I feel like there's a lot of like information out there that sounds so good and snappy, but we're getting calls. That sounds so good and snappy, but it's not a really good answer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get.
Where is
guy.
he?
Hey, Lee.
Oh, what do we do?
Hold on, this is unprecedented at the moment. I need to take a call.
Huh? All right. Well, I'm gonna sit here and try to.
Lee, my phones are ringing.
Do you hear that? We're actually getting a phone call. What do you know? Woohoo! Is it 9:30 already?
It could be. Hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for being patient with us getting that ringer.
Oh, no worries. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Hi.
Hi, I'm calling to ask Aiden a question.
I hope so.
Hi, Aiden.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Diana. I'm a fellow gay.
Hey, Diana.
Hi. And the question that I have is that, well, I just started dating someone, and my family has always been supportive. Like, they did the rainbow on the Facebook and all of that. But, like, when it came down to it, my sister pulled me aside and told me she doesn't want me bringing my girlfriend around because she doesn't want us to hold hands or be affectionate because she is worried about confusing my nieces.
Ooh.
So my question is how to deal with that, because she's saying she's supportive, but then again, that's not very supportive.
Okay, so this is my opinion. You can't. It sounds really good to be like, you be you tell them, and you bring your family. No, don't do that. What you need to do is, okay, fine, but you got to have a private conversation with your sister, right? And if she's saying she's supportive, find a great way for you both to work together to warm the kids up into it. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So just don't push your thoughts like, this is my love, and if you don't accept me, then go screw yourself. Like that's not the way to handle it. So hear her say, okay, I get your concern. Have a conversation with her privately, okay, at like a coffee shop or something, and find a great like mutual ground and kind of meet her halfway, like kind of be like, because she's trying kind of, right? She says she's supportive. She's trying to be supportive. Maybe she's not doing it in the best way, but like maybe you can be like, listen, I understand maybe how this could be difficult for you. Let's find a great common ground so that we can all be a part of each other's lives in a way that's progressive and moving forward, and we all feel comfortable.
Can I ask how old the nieces are?
They are 5 and 7.
Yeah, they're coming into an age where this is the world in which we live.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're not going to. I mean, I'm just thinking.
But it's for the sister. Like
right.
I want to. My goal is to. Okay, look. So if you maintain a good relationship with your sister, right? And if you find a good common solution by working with her, because she's open, right? And maybe it's not the way that you're going to think. Like maybe she's not going to invite you to like the girlfriend to whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But maybe if you find a good solution together and she feels like part of it, then your relationship can get stronger. Her understanding of you will get stronger. And that way you're not. You're bringing the kids in a good way, like in an open-hearted, working together kind of way. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot. Hopefully
Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe she's just not used to it. It was weird, like everything was going fine, and then like the nieces, like my nieces are fine with it. They've asked us questions, and they understand, like with kids, they just move on very quick. They don't really care.
Right.
It was just like, it just seemed kind of random. So that's
I know that must be like heartbreaking. Go gentle with your sister and try to be as empathic as possible, because opening your heart in that way is going to be the way that this is going to have a successful outcome where the kids and you and the sister can all be on the same page. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you go hard and try to accuse her of not being supportive or saying blah, 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 like if you go hard, it'll make it that much harder for you. The ultimate goal is for everybody to share an experience of acceptance. So you have to be the first one to be empathic, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay. All right, Diana.
Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Night, Diana. Hi. It's Anna Marie, and who might you be?
My name is Steve.
Hi, Steve. Welcome to the show. Do you have a question for Aiden?
Hi, Steve.
Yes. Hi, Aiden. So I'm calling the last few times that I've been seeing my boyfriend for about 5 months now, and we both said we're exclusive, but the last few times we've had sex, he's actually said another guy's name.
What?
And in like heat of the moment, I didn't want to say anything because it's like heat of the moment, and I just haven't said anything to him yet or even brought anything up. I don't know what to do about this.
You need to talk to him.
But how do I? Okay, I guess how do I approach it? How do I?
Okay, it's been 5 months now, right?
But 5 months, yeah.
Okay, just you gotta have they've gotta have a discussion, like in the morning over breakfast, coffee. Not accusatory, Steve. You can't be like, hey, like this happened and this fucked up. No. You can't do that, right?
No.
Look, always.
Keep it I, not you.
Yeah.
I feel this way. when you did that, because if you do, you're going to put him on the defense.
Yep.
He's going to be like, it's going to shut it down immediately because obviously he knows what he did, right? He knows
No.
he had to have known he called somebody else's name out.
No,
No?
maybe not.
Really?
I mean, I kind of was wondering if he would bring something up, but he never did. So I don't know if he noticed.
Has it happened again?
It's happened the last 3 times we've had sex.
Yeah, you got to have a conversation. Unless that's his safe word.
Ha ha ha! Yeah. So gently, next morning, over coffee, gentle conversation like, hey, I had a really great time with you. I noticed that, you said this person's name. Just wondering maybe who that is. Or, just gently, not accusatory,
Yeah, because we're not friends on Facebook yet either, so there's no way of even searching the name.
Well, how are you boyfriends with somebody? Boyfriends, right? It's not just like it's not like you see him once in a while. It's like that's it. Like you're boyfriends. You're exclusive.
We're boyfriends, but we both agreed that we would wait before we became friends on social.
But you're boyfriends now. So, right?
Right.
So you spend every weekend together, right?
Every weekend, yes.
So then okay, now it's time to be friends on social, man.
That's really funny.
Yeah, they have to be.
I just had a friend
Okay.
who broke up with a guy because he unfriended her. They're in a year relationship, and he unfriended her, and she just was like, she was crushed. I mean, that is a big that is a friend or no friend on Facebook. That's a really big deal. That has become the new status of how serious are we?
Yeah.
If you can't get into my Facebook, how are we outside of Facebook? What is that? What are you hiding?
Is that a problem? What? Yeah. What is he hiding? Yeah, that's a good question. Right?
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Why? What is the reasoning behind not being friends on social?
Yeah, I think you're. At the time, I thought let's. Yeah. You're right.
I mean, think about it. If that person,
I need to talk to him.
Let's just say the person that he's saying that name, you go on his social media, and that's somebody who's all over his social media page, or he's liking whatever it is, he's all over their page.
Right.
So-
No, that's very. It's just I need to get the balls.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, but you
No,
gotta
it's okay.
maybe you gotta have a discussion with him about this. But bigger than that, what was the reasoning behind the social media thing? Why did you guys? What was the deal? What did he say? What did he tell you? Was it your idea to keep it, like that, or no?
It was his actually. So it was like a couple weeks into the relationship, and I found him on Facebook and I added him, and he made a joke, text me, called me stalker, and we laughed it off. And he said, "Things get weird when social media gets involved sometimes this early. Let's just wait it out and get to know each other."
But
off
that was
social
2
media."
weeks, and now you're exclusive, and it's been 5 months.
Right.
It's time for a discussion.
Or you could just, one up them and you start yelling other people's names.
No.
out.
Okay, that's terrible.
And say, I thought we were doing this. Are we role playing?
That's terrible. Don't listen to Anna Marie. You know what? Flip a table.
That's it.
Grab a bat, hit him over the head.
No, not that drastic. I mean, I just find, to make it a
Scott
little humorous.
Peterson, Jody,
yeah.
Jody Arias or whatever.
If you, right. If you have that, I mean, man, you got a lot of patience because that would happen just one other time when all hell would break loose. In my bed.
You're from Boston.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah. Wicked. There'd be a shit ton of stuff flying on that.
Well,
Yeah.
cool. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
Steve. Good
much.
luck with
Yeah,
that.
softly, and then listen to what he says. Yeah.
All right.
Being reactive
Thank
is
you, guys.
never. Being reactive and big is never a good. I mean, it works. It's great for reality TV, but you know what? We all have to realize we don't live on reality
Right.
TV.
It's what everybody thinks their little Facebook and their Instagram is. It's the me show. It's just...
Yeah. It feels good to go off on someone, but you know
Don't
what?
put a filter on that, young man.
Don't
do it.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Steve.
Good luck,
again.
Steve.
All right.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, the situation being... I mean, I don't know. To me, if first of all, your first caller with the situation, great advice. Great advice. You handle everything with love, always. That the sister is concerned about her decision because mothers are always second guessing themselves. So what she's trying to do is she doesn't know how to translate it in her head. She's overthinking it, thinking it's going to somehow sabotage their childhood.
I guarantee the sister had a really tough time bringing this up to Diana.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
She struggled with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's great advice to tell her to step into it with love. And
Sometimes
empathy.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's so popular to be like, they got to like me or screw it. Like that's
Right.
that's what you get on Twitter when you have 140 characters to say something that'll get likes. But in reality, if you approach it from an angle of, okay, well, I understand, maybe. Look, listen,
Especially
like
that much the personal people closest to you, they matter the most.
yeah.
I mean, they're your first defense against the outside world is you got to know those people support you. So I can understand, it's so great that she's asking how to handle that now and then yelling out somebody else's name, it's
Yeah.
just that's I don't know.
See,
how you
I
could-
think he has something
everything
to hide.
wouldn't. It's really weird because a girlfriend of mine, somebody she was dating for a year, she went on and she found that he unfriended her.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, how do you do that? And he said, well, you say I don't like your pictures or I'm not liking your stuff. So I decided that I just will X you off altogether. And I went, okay, it's one of two things happening here. Either he can't take, she's very well known at what she does. Maybe he doesn't like all the light and attention you're getting and he feels threatened by that. Or he's hiding something because that's where I automatically go is somebody's hiding something.
I think the way anybody handles any problem is the way they're going to handle all problems, right? So
Yeah,
if
that's a
he
really good
has
analogy.
run into a conflict and he's going to unfriend someone, which is, I think, very passive-aggressive to do, that means he's going to be passive-aggressive.
Well,
That's how he handles
Isn't that
things.
funny? Because and when people do, I don't know if you noticed that when people first get into a relationship and they have the big red flags. I know I did. But you're like, no, I want it to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of, everybody does, Love is Blind comes from a reason for that. You kind of push that aside as if, that's going to ruin meeting Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Right. Like I've listened to women talk about, and as they're telling me the story about the person that they're seeing, I'm like, holy shit, what do you do? So far, you've told me nothing. And if you're already in the first year of your relationship where it's this complicated, what's he going to be like when he's comfortable? Right?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I had a young girl that was doing my makeup, and she was telling me all about this fascinating man and blah, blah, blah. And as she's talking more about, he was fascinating because of his stature in film. And she was telling me, he's this, and there's all these accolades of as if there's a bigger prize in scoring somebody who's this. And I'm like, yeah, but who is he as a person? And as she talked more about him, I'm like thinking, I don't give a shit how good he is at what he does, how famous he is. He's a dick. I mean, why would you let somebody make you feel that way? Because they have credentials?
Yeah.
And she said to me, well, I just don't want to, I'm trying to find the love of my life. So I moved away from the mirror. And she's the only reflection now. And I said, you see that? That's the love of your life. And if you don't set it square with that as being everything you need, you're going to come up short every time. Nobody is responsible for that much pressure. I said, you're going to love a lot of people if you allow it. Hopefully you love the right people. How about you just love the right person?
Mm-hmm.
The love of your life, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, would you want, you're the love of my life. Sounds great, doesn't it? Don't we all want to, our egos feel good when someone says that. You're that important. But really? There's a lot of, have you, love of, what do those duties entail? Being the love of somebody's entire life? I don't want that. You want that? See, I know you're not thinking about all that goes with that. That's some kind of ownership to me. The love of my life. I don't know.
The love of my life.
The love of my life. Music say all about it, from a different perspective as far as the idea of ownership. And when you,
I think it's built. I think you find someone with a good foundation and you build.
yes. See, I like that.
No.
How can you be automatically everything,
You can't.
right?
It's not going to happen.
Don't people-
So what's going to happen is
Crazy
when you find you
chemicals.
get only a few qualities that are. There's a few qualities that me personally I look for in my guys, right? And foundational things,
Right.
right? Integrity, honesty, trustworthiness, right?
Humor.
Yeah, positivity, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Goals.
if they stick with that, you're going to have fights no matter what.
Right.
You're going to listen, Anna Marie. You know, I already love you, but if we went on like a month-long getaway to Cancun together, I guarantee we're gonna have a disagreement about like I want to go on the boat, I want to go on the plane. I don't know, whatever. But the thing is, if you have a good foundation, you can work through it, and that's when you see how the other person's gonna react.
Whoa, it's amazing to me. Like when my family owned restaurants, so the most intimate setting was two people sitting down to dinner, or a family sitting down to dinner, and you get to hear how people dialogue, either under a lot of people bring their anger to the table. You see couples arguing in a public place where they're so locked in that they are the only person in the room with that, and they also do it when they're in love. I mean, there's this loving exchange when two people are sitting at a table and they're the only people in the room. But when they're arguing and they're going at each other, and let's say the man's overly aggressive, and sometimes the woman, the whole argument is who can undermine and destroy a person's character. And if you walked up to them and said, "So what exactly are you pissed off about?" They don't even nothing they've said is about the issue that's really bothering them.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows. You're right. Communicating properly is, like I said, I was told you start with I, not you. You know what you did? I felt this way. This is how I feel. How can we resolve this?
Yeah.
This isn't working for me. I don't think people really put that much into communicating as they used to. I mean, you look at tables now, everybody's in their phone. I can't get over how many people sit, like they were all sitting up at the, I went to a breakfast place and everybody had their phone out.
Right.
And I get it, but in the same respect, I mean, I'm guilty if I'm by myself, but I spend a lot of time people watching. People, they fascinate me.
I mean, I literally went to a restaurant like a couple of times this weekend, and like literally, I was sitting next to. It was weird. People just don't talk. Like
No.
I was at a resort this weekend, and I was sitting next to this couple, and they were there for like an hour, not saying anything. And then the guy's like, "Hey, you want a water?" Like that was it. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" Why? Because you can tell they've clearly been married for a long
For
time.
a long time.
But I'm like, what the?
Well,
what?
see, now wait. That was something that I have friends of mine, and like, of course, I'm no longer married. I had a woman women are so good at this, who said, "It's so cruel. It's got to be. I would never want to be single." And I'm looking at her going, "No, I'm pretty sure if I look like you, I wouldn't want to be single too."
Oh.
Odds are, I mean, I'm serious. Odds are, you have to. I took care of myself. For a woman my age, I take great pride in the fact that I went without a lot of things so I can maintain this. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't do a lot of things. And I'm just like, my situation is what it is. I would never go up to somebody with one arm and say, "Oh, man, that must really suck having one arm."
Yeah.
I know I'm single. How hard is it to be single? She's asked me. It must be so hard to be single.
Oh,
And I thought in my mind, no, it was harder to be with somebody that I felt more alone with.
absolutely,
than
absolutely,
to be
1000%.
Out here on my own, and the value of a conversation. Like somebody said, what do you look for? And I'm like, I want somebody I can talk to. I want somebody that that has a great sense of humor, because you got to be quick when it comes to me. I mean, naturally funny, as I'm sure you are. It's like it's great.
Not really, actually. I don't
You
think
have
I'm
to
that
work
funny. I don't
it?
think so. Not really.
Come on,
Because like how many funny things have I said in this hour? Really? I've just been very much like, okay, this is what you do. Da 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 da.
True.
But, like, I haven't been funny.
Well, have you had the opportunity to make a sarcastic remark? And if you did, would you?
Not really. I'm not
No,
that sarcastic. I'm just. It's very funny.
So
like
your humor, I notice, is you tell stories.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, most comedians do, but there's also how much do you improv when you're up on stage, as to like you have your material? Like,
I have points that I'm gonna hit. but within that, I like to play with the audience.
Okay. So
Mhm.
you see, you got a little bit of freelance sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I mean, that whole thing, like you said, people did find you amusing, and you did have this thing about being able to do comedy. In fact, I've had people I've met that said they were comedy writers, and I thought they were the driest people. I mean, I was blown away. You write comedy? Why do you act so surprised?
A lot of
You're kinda
comedians
like
are
a
super
bag of hand-
serious.
Oh,
super
I've
serious.
learned that here, too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I'm like, blah, and yeah, oh my God, when I first started the show, and they'd be like, lady, okay, get out of my grid. And, you know, learning that is like watching them. Also, when they're in the green room, like I'd go in and guys be in the green room, and they're, you know, they're focused on what they're going to do, and they don't need anybody sucking their energy, because it takes a lot of energy when you're going to go out and perform. From what I've heard, from what they say, they're so focused, they're zoned in, and I'm like,
I don't
really?
know. I don't know about that. I'm like, well, whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
They're like, does where you go on, like who you follow? I mean, do you pay attention to that, or you just like,
Yeah,
I'm
of
just
course.
Now,
Yeah.
why can't you just be who gives a shit? I'm still gonna do, because they gauge it for you.
Because I want to give a good experience, right? So, like, whoever goes up before me, if they have like, it's a live experience, right? It's a
Yeah.
living, breathing experience. So, if someone who goes on before me has an interaction with like a certain audience member that ties into a joke that I have, then I
Right.
can go up and tie that in, and it makes that joke even better. So to watch
Well, I like
kind of
when
what's
comedians
going
do that.
on, yeah, right.
And you do look at the audience, and
I
you watch
do.
the reactions, and you get
Yeah.
a gauge of the energy.
Yeah, so those two are having a fight, and those two are the lesbians in the corner. Those two are the gay guys in the corner. Great, you know. Or there's the Asian people, or there's the, you just kind of get a gauge. And then the person who goes before me kind of...
You know what was really funny? I've had a comedian say that there was a woman that he was focused on through the whole show that didn't laugh.
Mhm.
And
You got to get her.
after the show,
Mhm.
she came up. It was either he or she, but whoever it was had just lost their significant other.
Yeah.
And said this was a first. He thought this person did not have a good experience, and she went out of her way to thank him and say this has been the most fun.
Right.
So you can't always
You can't gauge it
right
by the laughs.
that. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which I wouldn't have. I can understand how. Like you can tell when your audience is engaged. I took a picture. Alex Thomas was on stage, and I took a picture of the audience watching him, and it was such a great shot. It really was, and to see how incredibly connected you are to people when you're standing on that stage,
Yeah.
and they're listening and they're riveted to what's going to come out of your mouth, and then that's that big explosion of laughter that
Right.
happens. Or that slow rolling laughter. I mean, there's all different kinds.
Yeah.
The slow rolling laughter.
That's my favorite.
That when it
Because the
just-
thinker, it's like, and then they're like, oh.
well, your timing's based on that, where you got to wait.
Yeah.
Let it sink in. Just
Yeah.
you know.
That one's a lot of fun. I like that one the
Right.
most, I think.
And
or half the audience. I like terrifying the audience a little bit. Actually, that's kind of
where
fun.
they don't know where you're going with it.
Well, no, it's more like I make a joke that's so messed up that they want to laugh, but they don't know. I have a joke. You know, my boyfriend passed away recently. I'm like, and I said like, hey, my boyfriend passed away recently. It's like I literally got ghosted.
Oh shit!
And so half the audience goes, it's like they don't know what to do with it. It's kind of really fun.
And you was he older than you?
He was 20 years older than me.
Okay, because I date somebody significantly younger than me, and people.
Oh, good for you.
People are always like, I had a woman who said to me, "Why would you date somebody that's almost your children's age?" And I said,
People say that to you?
Yep. I said, well, because I can.
Yeah.
I mean,
why? What's their
But
business?
I make a joke saying, "Why is it that's the only one asking me out?" And one of the comedians goes, "Baby, because you got what they need." And I'm like, "What is it that I have that they need?" He goes, "A credit score."
Yeah.
And the other side of that is dating. I don't know, being, how old are you? Can I
I'm
ask?
33.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So that's the same. That's the age difference. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So in saying that, it's like there's the difference of like people put it physical age on things.
Yeah.
What they look like, and this will happen. But there's something about the mind
Yeah.
that you can't put a number on.
I love
and
older guys,
connection
by the
and
way.
soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, it would make perfect sense because I see a lot of older gay men with younger, very, very, and I must say, you're a very good-looking young man.
Oh, thanks.
Very, very good-looking young man. And it's something that, where people, what is it that you like? Do you like the education, the conversation, the, I'm not saying that everybody that's older has those qualities, but what qualities is it that you found in this person? And by the way, how long were you with him?
Michael? 5 years.
Oh, my condolences.
They have problem-solving skills that are beyond, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They've lived a little, so
Right.
they understand how to problem solve, right?
Right.
And also, I realize it depends on the person, but they know what they want now, right? So it's like when I look for people, like, look, I know what I want.
Grounded.
I'm very like, I don't play. I like what I like, and that's it. I don't care. So.
Oh, no, you come on.
Yeah.
A gay Korean guy who came to this country fat and didn't speak English. Come on. Think about it. You own that.
So then, you know what else I do? It's like, okay, like whenever I felt, because I used to feel a little bit ashamed of my, like, dating to older guys. Because, there's that stigma, like, people think I'm dating for money, which is not the case. You know what I mean? But, like, come on. But, like,
I like that you said that because LA is very much like that. I've had women who have told me that I need to go to a bar to meet older men with money who'll take care of me. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Now, what are you saying? My
our time's up.
soundboard guy is playing us out. We didn't even get to see it clipped.
Oh, it's all right. Whatever. Find them on internet.
Find him on the internet. Find him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Aiden Park Show.
Yeah, AIDAN Park Show. If you need advice, DM me.
Every day this man does that. As for me, I'll see you out there. Lee, ticket. Peace.
Right, or I'ma bust a Yui. I don't like raw fish in my sushi. Want a big tip, better get the cooking. I am not paying you for all this lipping. Sapphire diamonds, yeah, they bluey. Put them around your neck, you look chewy. Blow 10 grand, please excuse me. Bless me real good, I need a hero cookie. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper.